everybody, Miss Rachel from the Farmingdale Public Library here, and today I'd like to show you the crafts and activities that we did for Spring STEAM Fun. The first craft that I'd like to show you is a touch and feel picture of some flowers. For this craft, I used some markers to color my page, some buttons for my flowers and my sun, and some thread or yarn to make the picture a little more touch and feel. So for this picture, what I did was I first glued a big button for the center of my flower. Now this one over here is actually kind of fuzzy, this button. And then I glued a ring of smaller buttons around it to make my flower petals. So on this one I did white like a daisy, and over here I did a red flower with a white center, which might look a little bit more like, say, a poppy, which has usually black beads in the center, but in this case I chose to make mine white. To make my leaves have a little bit of texture as well, some smooth texture to them to make them soft, I glued down some thread, some sewing thread. This is kind of like a very thin yarn or very thick coat thread. And then around the cloud that I drew in the sky, I took some very light blue thread and I pressed it down into the shape of the cloud. I also gave the sun some shine, some sunshine, haha, and gave it a very sparkly gold button. But you could use whatever kind of buttons you'd like. The idea is more that we're working with our pincer grip here for some fine motor skills. And the next craft I'd like to show you is a toy dragonfly. This one I made using a pipe cleaner twisted around in a figure 8 shape to make the wings. I used a permanent marker to draw on a smile and some 3D paint for the spots on its back, but you could also use glitter glue, or if you don't have glitter glue or 3D paint, a permanent marker like a Sharpie is fine. A washable marker with this craft would probably rub off and you might end up with a little face print on your hand as opposed to on your spoon. The last craft that I'd like to show you today is a windsock. Can anybody tell me what a windsock is? That's right, a windsock is kind of like a kite, but it stays outside rather than in your hand. And it tells you which direction the wind is blowing and how hard the wind is blowing. So for this craft, you could use either a chopstick like I have here or a popsicle stick if you have them. I used some yarn, but any kind of thick string will work to hold it down, and a paper bag. I taped my string using an X to make it more sturdy to the bottom of the bag. If you'd rather use glue or a stapler, that's totally fine. And I decorated my bag with some stickers and some markers. I used some purple markers to make some hearts and stars. And then at the bottom, I gave it a tail kind of like a kite would have, with some gift ribbon and some streamers. So this you could either glue or staple to the inside of the bag. I stapled it today because that is a lot easier. But what you would do is you would open this up and tie your string to something high up so that there's some room for it to fly. And if the wind is blowing hard, it'll, go all over the place. But if the wind isn't too strong, it'll just lightly float along. You could also use this like a kite if the weather is nice, but you wouldn't want to leave this out in the rain. The last activity that I'd like to show you is a scavenger hunt. So, are you ready? I challenge you to find these items in your backyard. The first item I'd like you to find is a flower bud, which is a flower which has not yet opened. The next item I'd like you to find is a big green leaf, a brown leaf that's left over from either last winter or last fall, a robin. Can anybody tell me what a robin is? That's right, a robin is a bird you'll see in this area. It has an orange body but brown wings. Can you also find a pine cone? So the seed that's on a pine tree. Can you find in your yard or in your area a lawn chair or a park bench? Can you find a cool looking rock? And can you find a squirrel? I think you can find all those. But when you do, please leave us a comment in the comment section below. In our description of this video are all the materials for the crafts that we've discussed and some other activities, as well as the scavenger hunt list. So, Good luck on your scavenger hunt. Have fun with the crafts, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day, everybody.